Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Harvey, and I'm an instructional designer here at Hack. Welcome to our second asynchronous workforce development D2L Brightspace training. Today, we will be looking at D2L's various assessment tools, as well as the Gradebook. Again, this is an asynchronous training. This means that you can work through the training at your own pace. I encourage you to open up the link to the Google Slides presentation that is in this video's description so you can follow along with step-by-step guides that show you how to do everything I'm about to show you in this video today. If you would like to attend the synchronous version of this same training, that'll take place on Tuesday, June 22nd from noon to 1. Look in this video's description for more information. All right, let's get started. First, let's take a look at making a quiz in D2L. So we're going to open up our course admin tools, and we want to scroll down until we get to the assessment heading and click on quizzes. To create a new quiz, we're going to click this blue new quiz button. So first we're going to give the quiz a name. I'm just going to name this example quiz workforce development. We're going to scroll down and we're going to click on this gray add edit questions button. We're going to click on this blue add button and go to new question. Now we have so many different types to choose from. For today's training, I'm just going to choose multiple choice, but take a look at all the different options that you have. Here are all the different question types when making a quiz in D2L. For the purpose of this training, I chose a multiple choice question. So let me show you how to make one of these. So this is our question thus far. We're going to click in this question text box, and this is where I'm going to type out my question. So in these corresponding text boxes is where our answer choices will go. Now, if you want to add an answer choice, you can click down here, add answer choice. Or if you want to delete an answer choice, you can click on this little X icon to the right. So you want to select which is the right option. So you do that by clicking this circle next to the correct answer. Over here to the right is a little preview. This is what users are going to see when they're taking this quiz question. Now you want to determine the number of points for this question in this box. The default should be 1 point. If you want this question to be worth 2 points, you can always change that here. I'm going to leave it at 1 for now. And if you prefer, you can check this box next to randomize answer order. This is going to randomize the order of answers for each user of the quiz. And when you're finished with this question, you click save down here at the bottom. So this is where you will see all your questions. Right now, I just have one made. When you have a ton made, they're all going to be listed here. To go back, click back to settings for your quiz. And it's going to take you back to this screen. And if you scroll down, any questions that you have added will be listed here. To preview this question, I can click right on this link and it will bring up a preview menu. This will be how users see it when they're taking the quiz. To edit, I'll just go to add edit questions again. And this will allow me then to edit this question or add more questions to my quiz. Now let's take a look at auto grading the quiz. So we still have the quiz open. We're going to click on this assessment tab. And then under automatic grade, we're going to check the box next to allow attempt to be set as graded immediately upon completion. So this will actually auto grade your quiz as long as the quiz questions aren't written responses. The question types that can be auto graded include multiple choice, true or false, multiple select, and matching. Next, we're going to look at how to make it so users have multiple attempts on a quiz. So we're still in the assessment tab of our quiz. We're going to scroll down until we reach attempts. In this box under attempts allowed, you can change, if you prefer, the amount of times a user can take this quiz. I'm going to choose 3. After you choose the number, you want to hit apply. You'll see after I hit apply, it unlocks some more options down here. So if I wanted for users to only retake questions that they got wrong, I would check this box under retake incorrect questions only. Under overall grade calculation, I can hit this down arrow and pick how I want this quiz graded for users. I can choose the highest attempt, lowest attempt, average of all attempts, first attempt, or last attempt. I'm going to choose highest, but again, this choice is up to you. Down here under Advanced Attempt Conditions, you can fill out these boxes to make it so that users cannot make another attempt on the quiz unless they get a specific score on the previous attempt. These are optional. If you leave these boxes blank, this will not apply. If you fill in numbers, then this will apply. When you're finished with your settings, click Save and Close. Now, let's say you want to reset a user's attempt. So we're still here in quizzes. We have a list of quizzes that I made for my course. I'm going to find the quiz that the student took, and I'm going to hit that down arrow next to it, and I'm going to select Grade. I'm going to click on the Attempts tab, and then I'm going to click on this blue Show Search Options. Now, this box under Restrict To, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to choose All Attempts. Then I'm going to scroll back up and hit on the magnifying glass. Now I'll scroll down and see all the attempts either already completed or in progress. You'll see here this bottom attempt is completed. It has the date and time when this was completed and the grade as I had it to auto grade. You'll see up here we have an attempt in progress. Now to reset this attempt, I'm going to check the box next to it, and up here I'm going to click Reset. I'm going to confirm by clicking Yes, and this user's attempt on the quiz has been reset. So now they can go in and take this quiz again. Now we are going to set dates for our quiz. I'm going to hit this drop-down arrow next to my quiz and click Edit. This is going to take me back to the Properties tab of my quiz. I want to click in the Restrictions tab right next to Properties. And here we can add dates. To add a due date, I'm going to check the box next to Has a Due Date. I can click on this calendar box to open up a calendar to pick the day that I want to set as my due date. And here I can set the time. If you prefer to also add a start and end date, you can do the same thing with these two boxes. Check the box next to Has a Start Date, pick your start date and time. You can do the same with end date if you want as well. The choice is up to you. If you check the box next to Display in Calendar, these dates will be displayed in the course calendar. Let's take a closer look at start, end, and due dates. The start date is the date and time an item becomes available for users to complete. The name and general details are visible before then, but users cannot start it or submit anything until after this date. The end date is the date and time an item stops being available for users to work on. They can still see it, but won't be able to access it. Quick note, if users start a quiz before the end date and time, they will still be given the whole allotted time to finish before it becomes unavailable. The due date is the date and time an item is due. Users can still complete it after this date, but it will be marked late. Due dates will show up on the user's calendar to help them plan. Once you set your dates, you can click Save and Close. Now, what if you want users to be able to see the questions they got wrong and right after they take a quiz? Well, this will be our submission views. So to get into submission views, we want to go back into that quiz. So I'm here with my list of quizzes. I'm going to find my quiz, click on the down arrow next to it, and click Edit. I'm going to click this Submission Views tab. Next, I'm going to click on this blue Default View link. I'm going to scroll down until I get to View Details. Under Show Questions, I'm going to check Yes. This way, users will be able to see the questions on the quiz after they submit it. This is a good tool for a quiz review. You can choose from a variety of options, whatever you want your users to be able to see. So I'm going to leave it at Show All Questions with User Responses so that individuals can see all the questions and everything they put for each question. I am going to check Show Question Answers as I want users in my course to review how they did. And I'm going to leave this box Show Question Score and Out of Score. So again, this is going to be a nice quiz review. Now I'm going to scroll down. I have other optional settings here. I can choose if I want. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to click Save. Let's quickly take a look at what it looks like from the learner's perspective to look at a submission view. So I'm logged into a learner's account. They will click the down arrow next to the quiz title and click View Submissions. There will be a list of their attempts. They can click on which attempt they'd like to view. And you can see here, the user can see how they did on the quiz. This quiz is only one question, but it shows the question, it shows the correct answer, it shows the user's response. So this is what it will look like for the user. You will want to make sure that you reset this submission view, especially if the view shows quiz answers. We're still in the quiz and we're still on the submissions view tab. I'm going to scroll down and click on this gray Add Additional View button. So you need to give this view a name. I'm going to name it exactly what it's going to do, which is end the question and answer view for this quiz. Scroll down, and if you want, you can put a message. This is optional. I'm going to skip that for now. Under View Restrictions is where we're going to put a date and a time. Now, this date and time is when this view is going to go into effect. So if you want users to see the questions and answers on this quiz up until a certain time, choose that time. And now this submission view will kick in on June 16th at 12:01 a.m. That means the submission view I made will expire at this time. Scroll down to View Details. Leave this set to No so that when this view kicks in, it's back to normal default. Users won't be able to see questions, won't be able to see answers, just their scores. Click Save. Next, we are going to take a look at how to import a quiz into D2L. So I'm back here at the list of all my quizzes. I'm going to choose a quiz to click into, and I'm going to go back to this Add Edit Questions button. And this time, instead of clicking the Add button, I'm going to click Import. And I'm going to click Upload a File. Now, it's important to note that D2L only allows the upload of a CSV file when importing a quiz file. So if you have a quiz in a Word document, you won't be able to upload it as it is. You'll have to convert it into a CSV file first. So if you have a CSV file that's ready to go, you can click this blue Browse Files button and pull it from your computer and upload it that way. Many of us probably don't have a quiz ready to go as a CSV file already, so we're going to have to prepare the file first. Now, D2L provides a template CSV file, and you can download that by clicking right here, Download Template CSV. Here's an example of what that CSV file looks like. There is a lot going on here. Now, you can choose to fill this out for your quiz and just upload this file if you want. However, there are a couple other alternate methods that may prove to be easier. Let me show you a couple of those. On slide 31 of training number 2, there's a link here that you can click on that'll generate the document as a CSV file for you. So if you have a quiz as a Word document all ready to go, visiting this website will be way quicker and way easier than inputting all that information into a CSV file on your own. So I'm going to walk you through that. And again, this is on slide 31 of training number 2. So let's take a look. So this is linked in the slide, so you can just click right here and it'll take you right to this website. So you'll want to title your quiz and you'll want to choose the question types. I'm going to leave it on multiple choice. So you can actually copy all the questions from your Word doc and paste them in this text box here, and then click Generate Test Questions down here at the bottom. You will want to fix any errors that are present. These 2 questions in green are good to go. This question in red is not, and the reason is because the correct answer is not marked with an asterisk. If you see up here, questions 1 and 2 have the correct answer labeled with that asterisk. Number 3 does not. So all I have to do is add an asterisk that is missing, and then I'll click Generate Test Questions one more time, and now they're all green, so they're all good to go. And next, I can click this Download Test Questions for Brightspace button. Clicking this button will automatically make this file a CSV file. So all I have to do is save this to my computer. Next, I'm going to go back into Brightspace, click Import, upload a file, click Browse Files, and I'm going to open up the CSV file I just made. When it's finished uploading, I'm going to click Import All, and there you go. The questions are added to my quiz. If I need to edit, I can always click into it and edit it. The next tool that we're going to be looking at that is very similar to the previous one is called Respondus. Respondus is a tool for creating and managing exams that can be printed to paper or published directly to D2L. Hack owns a site license to Respondus that allows you to install the software on as many computers as you wish for as long as you teach at the college. Respondus is only available for Windows-based computers. To access Respondus, you'll click on this link on this slide in the first bullet, and it will take you to where you can download Respondus to your machine. The second bullet is the password that you'll have to enter. This password is valid through the end of July of this year. You will need IT support as you download Respondus. You can click this link in the third bullet to find IT contact information. You will want IT support throughout the whole process, as they'll need to jump in and type in a password a couple different times throughout the whole entire process. So it would be my suggestion to make sure you have IT with you as you go through the next several steps here. I'm going to open up Respondus, and the first thing I want to do is check for any updates. I'm going to hit Help, and I'm going to click Check for Update. To get the update, I'm going to click this Get Update button. However, you'll see that I need an admin username and password. This is why I said it's a good idea to have IT with you as you go through all these steps, as they'll need to hop in and help you with updates and various steps along the way. So right now I'm going to click No. Now you'll want to make sure your file is prepared. So I'm going to minimize Respondus for now, and I'm going to show you my file that I have ready, and make sure that your quiz is a text file. Now you can do this in Notepad, Microsoft Word, as long as it is a TXT file. And just like the last tool, make sure that the correct answer is marked with an asterisk. Otherwise, you're going to run into some issues that you'll have to edit later. I will open up Respondus. With Respondus back open, I'm going to click Import Questions. Open up the type of file drop-down menu and make sure you pick whatever file it is. So mine is going to be plain text since I'm using that Notepad file. Next, you want to click Browse here. You will want to find the file, click it, and then click Open. Under Step 2, choose where to add the new questions. Select Create a New Document Named, and in this text box, type in the name of the quiz. For now, I'm just calling this Respondus Example. For type of file to create, leave it at Exam. Click on the Preview button to check the document for any errors. I have no warnings. If you have warnings, they're going to show up in this bottom box here. Here is an example of an error, as one of the questions does not have an asterisk that defines the correct answer. Any errors identified will need to be fixed either in the original text file or in the Respondus edit screen that I'll show you next. When you are ready, click Finish. You will then be taken to this edit screen. At the top here, you can add more questions. You can also edit questions that are already made by going down here, clicking the drop-down arrow next to it, and clicking Edit. You can edit any of these questions at the bottom, especially if there was an error on the last screen. If you make any changes to a question, make sure you hit Save Changes. When you are finished editing and ready to publish, click Preview plus Publish up here. To preview the file a final time, click Preview the file. If you are all ready to publish, click on Publish from the list on the left side of this window. Click on Publish Wizard. Open the drop-down menu under Step 2. Choose an existing server or add new server to add settings information for a new server. Select Add New Server. Leave Yes check for pre-configured serving settings checked. Click Next. Give the Brightspace server a name such as Workforce D2L. Check the box next to Save My Username and Password on this computer if this is not a shared computer that you are using. Select Run Connection Test, click Next. This is another step where you will need an admin password. So again, it's a good idea to go through all of these steps with IT on the line. After a D2L server has been established, select the third option under step number 1, Export QTI XML for manual upload to Brightspace. Click Next. Click Save As in step number 2 to save to your computer as a zipped file. You'll see this will save it as a zipped Brightspace package. I'll click Save, and then I'll click Finish. Now we are going to import this Respondus file into a D2L quiz. So in your navbar, you want to find Course Admin. Under the Site Resources heading, you want to click Import, Export, Copy Components. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and select Import Components. Click on the blue Start button. Click on this gray Upload button. Select the zipped file from Respondus and click Open. Click on the blue Import All Components button. When the importing is finished, click on the blue View Content button. Go into your quizzes, and you will see the file you imported as a D2L quiz. Next, we will be taking a look at setting restrictions to a quiz. So we're still in quizzes. Find your preferred quiz and click into it. Click on the Restrictions tab at the top. Scroll down until you reach Timing. Select Enforce Time Limit. Type in how many minutes users will have to take the quiz, as well as how long their grace period will last. Right now, it's set at the default 120-minute time limit and the default 5-minute grace period. I'm going to leave those two for now. To change them, simply click in the box and add the number that you prefer. Next, select what you prefer to happen after the grace period. These are your three options here. I'm going to leave it at the default, which is allow the student to continue working. Next, let's take a look at special access to a quiz. Down here under special access, you get to choose your preferred type of access. You have two options. You can allow selected users special access to this quiz, or you can allow only the users you select with special access to see the quiz. When you pick which type of access you'd like to edit, click the gray Add Users to Special Access button. Give these special access users a different due date, start date, or end date on the quiz if you prefer. You can also give these users a different time limit on the quiz if you prefer. If you want, under attempts, you can also give these users a different amount of attempts on the quiz. If you check the box next to Override Attempts Allowed, and then under Attempts Allowed, you can pick a number and click Apply. Just like the last time we looked at attempts, it unlocks a couple different settings if you prefer. Scroll down to the bottom and you'll have a course list. You can check the box next to the student names of whom you would like to add to the special access. You can then click this blue Add Special Access button. Special access is for any users of your course that need accommodations, whether it's an extra day on a quiz or an extra 20 minutes on a quiz. This can all be done in this special access section. Now let's take a look at the course calendar. We have some dates set up on our quizzes, so let's see them populated in the calendar. So I'm going to go in my nav bar. I'm going to click Course Admin. I'm going to click on Calendar, which is found under the Site Resources heading. Any day on the calendar to the right here that has a dot on it means it's marked with an event. So here you'll see that Friday, July 9th has a dot. I'm going to click on it. On the left here, you'll see that there's a due date for the quiz, since it is set to Friday, July 9th at 11:59 p.m. Any due date that you have already assigned to an assessment, whether it be a quiz, discussion, or assignment, will automatically be added to the calendar. You can also create events to add to the calendar. Click on the blue Create Event button to create a custom event and add it to your calendar. Give the event a title. If you would like, you can give the event a description, select a time frame for the event, make the event reoccurring, or add a restriction if preferred. Click on the blue Create button. This will add that event to the calendar. That's all for now for quizzes. Let's take a look at setting up the gradebook. In the navbar of your course, click on Grades. Click on Setup Wizard. This is where you'll set up all the different options for your gradebook. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the blue Start button. This will launch the Setup Wizard, which is a 7-step process in which you can choose settings for your gradebook. You can run through the Setup Wizard as many times as you need. So if you mess up or pick something that you later don't want, don't worry. You can go in and do this as many times as you need, whenever you need to. For the first step, you're going to choose your grading system for the course. You have weighted, points, or formula. With weighted, a certain percentage of the final grade is assigned to specific grade items or categories. With points, a certain amount of points is assigned to each assignment. And for formula, the final grade is determined by a custom designed formula. I'm going to leave mine at points, and I'll click continue. Step 2 is all about how the final grade is going to be released. We have a few options. Calculated final grade means that the grade that is achieved by users based on the grading formula set up in the gradebook cannot be adjusted without editing grade item scores. Adjusted final grade allows you to modify or adjust users' grades before releasing them. Click continue. For this third step, you are to choose what you want the gradebook to do with any ungraded items. Drop ungraded items means that items that do not have a grade inputted are not counted towards the final grade. Treat ungraded items as 0 means that items that do not have a grade inputted are counted as 0 in the final grade. Now, with this step, just know that if you leave it at drop ungraded items, this will inflate users' scores, meaning if a user didn't get to a quiz yet and it's late and you leave it ungraded, it's not going to count against their final score. So they may look at their score and see that they have a 92 or 93, when in reality, since they didn't do this quiz or whatever the assignment is, their grade is not actually that high. I personally prefer this second option, treat ungraded items as 0. That way, users don't think that they may be passing when in reality they are not. You can check the box under Auto Update and next to automatically keep final grade updated to keep that final grade consistent and accurate. That way, users know exactly where they stand in your course at all times. Click Continue. With step 4, you choose the default grade scheme for your course. Right now, we have it only set as percentage, so leave that at percentage and click Continue to move on to the next step. Step 5 is simply where you determine how many decimal places your user's score is going to show. In this box, you can put any number from 1 through 5. Click Continue. For step 6, select which of the following grade details you prefer be visible to users of your course. Points grade will display the grade point value associated with a grade item. Grade scheme symbol will display the grade scheme symbol, for example, B+, B-, that is associated with a grade item. Grade scheme color will display grade scheme color associated with a grade item. This can only be displayed if the grade scheme symbol is also displayed. Grade scheme color will basically color code your gradebook. If a user did really well on an assignment, that will turn up green. If they did poorly on it, it'll be red. Under decimals displayed, insert the amount of decimal places, again, from 1 through 5, that'll be displayed for the student's grade. Under characters displayed, insert the amount of characters from 1 to 50 that a text grade item will display to students. Check the box under Final Grade Calculation to display final grade calculations to users. Click Continue. This final step will show you a summary of all the settings that you have chosen during this setup. After reviewing these settings, click on the blue Finish button to exit. Remember that you can go through the setup wizard as many times as you need. Now that we have established our preferred settings for our gradebook, we're going to make a grade item. We're in Grades. We're going to click on Manage Grades. Click on the blue New drop-down menu. From this list, select Item. Choose your preferred grade item type from the list. A grade item connects the assignment to the gradebook. So when we made the quiz earlier, and I go in and grade a user submission on it, it'll not appear in grades yet because there is no grade item attaching that assignment to the gradebook. You want to be certain that you have a grade item for every piece of content you want graded in your D2L course. If you don't have a grade item for it, it'll not be in the gradebook. You need that connection from gradebook to assignment. As far as grade item type, there are many different options. With numeric, assign a value out of a specified total amount of points. With select box, grade users by selecting a grade scheme level, such as very good or B-. With pass/fail, grade users using a pass-fail grade scheme. With formula, automatically grade users using a custom formula based on achievement on other grade items. For calculated, calculate users' cumulative achievement across multiple grade items. This would be great for a midterm exam that's based on the grade for multiple different items. Lastly, we have text. where you can provide comments in the gradebook that are not calculated in the final grade. For now, I'm going to just show a numeric example. So I'm going to click numeric. And the first thing you want to do is give the grade item a name. It is recommended to name the item the same exact thing that you're going to give the actual assignment. Scroll down until you reach grading. In the box under maximum points, type in the amount of points that this item will be worth. Down here, you have some optional grade item settings. Check the box under can exceed if users can receive more than the maximum amount of points on the assignment. Check the box under bonus if the assignment for this item will have opportunity for bonus points. Check the box under exclude from final grade calculation if you prefer this grade item to be excluded from users' final grades. Under grade scheme, select a grade scheme that represents users' grades with symbols or letters. For example, A, B, C, or 4.1, 3.5, or 3.0. When you finish your preferred settings for this grade item, click Save and Close. Now we need to attach the grade item to a quiz. So I'm going to go into my quizzes, and I'm going to attach this item to the last quiz I made with my Respondus file. Find your preferred quiz if you already have one made, and click into it. Click on the Assessment tab, and under Grade Item, hit the drop-down menu, and click on the grade item you made if this is the one that is to be attached to the quiz. If you do not have a grade item made yet for this quiz, you can click Add Grade Item, and it allows you to make a grade item right within the same window that'll then automatically be attached to this assignment. After a grade item is attached, click Save and Close. If an assignment is successfully attached with the grade item, you will see this icon that looks kind of like a ribbon next to the quiz's name. So you'll see that this also has a grade item. You'll see that these three examples do not. Now on to how to enter grades. We're going to click on grades in the navbar, and we want to be on the Enter Grades tab. Up here in the top row are all the different assignments thus far in my course. I'm going to click on the down arrow next to the assignment that I'd like to grade. And from this menu, I'm going to click Enter Grades. In the grade column, type in the amount of points each user earned on the assignment in the text box. Remember that for quizzes, multiple choice questions, true or false questions, multi-select, and matching questions can all be auto-graded. This grading method is for assignments that cannot be auto-graded. After grading all student submissions, click Save and Close. When you start to make a bunch of grade items, you want to make sure that they're organized. This is where grade item categories come into play. So we're still in grades in our navbar. We're going to click Manage Grades. Again, we're going to click on the blue New button, but this time we're going to click Category. Here you can give a category a name. I'm going to name this category Quizzes. Therefore, I can put all quiz grade items in this category. It helps organize my gradebook a bit. If you prefer, you may set it so that points are evenly distributed among all the items in one specific category. You can do this by checking the box under Distribution. If all items in the category are worth the same amount of points, you can choose to have either the highest or lowest grade for each category dropped. In these boxes, type in the amount of highest or lowest grades you prefer be dropped from the category. If I want the lowest grade items in this category to be dropped for users, I can type an amount in this box. If I type a 1 in this box, this means that the lowest quiz grade for each user will be dropped. Click Save and Close. As you are making new grade items, you can assign them to categories right within the New Item Properties tab. So this is a new grade item, simply called Quiz Number 2. I'll scroll down to Category, and I'll click this down arrow, and I can choose Quizzes as the category. If I don't have a category already made for whatever this assignment is, just like with grade items, I can click this New Category, and I can create a new category for grade items right within the same window. What if we want to grade with rubrics? Let's look at how to make a rubric. We're again going to go to Course Admin in our navbar. We're going to scroll down to the Assessment heading, and we're going to click on Rubrics. To make a new rubric, click on the blue New Rubric button. Give the rubric a name. I'm going to name mine Standard Presentation Rubric because I'm going to use this to assess users' presentations throughout the course. Next, choose the type of rubric by clicking Type. You have two types to choose from, holistic and analytic. A holistic rubric has only one criterion. This is best for simple assignments. Analytic has multiple criteria, allowing you to provide a variety of gradable elements. This is best for complex assignments. For now, I'm going to leave it at analytic. And next, we want to choose scoring. Click on the scoring drop-down menu and choose a scoring system. With points, all criteria are worth the same amount of points and everything is weighed equally. With custom points, each criterion can be worth different amount of points that match their importance. If you want to reverse the criteria levels, you can click Reverse Level Order. You'll see that it changed the order of these levels here. On the left is all the criteria. Type in a name for each criterion, such as spelling and grammar or formatting. The criteria is going to be whatever you are grading. Type names for the grading levels at the top, such as excellent, great, good, or needs work. To add a criterion, click on this Add Criterion button at the bottom of the table. To delete a criterion, click on these three dots next to the criterion's name and click Delete Row. Click on Delete. In these boxes, give the amount of points you want each grading level to be worth. To add a grading level, click on this plus sign and it will add a new grading level. To delete a grading level, click on this trash can icon and it will delete that level and its contents. If you set the type of the rubric to analytic and scoring to custom points, you can change the amount of points for each criterion and each grading level. If you change the total amount of points for a criterion on the far right, the rubric will automatically match the percentages for each grading level to the new total. Be mindful that the old total amount of points divides evenly into the new total amount. Otherwise, this could result in complex decimals for each grading level. So you'll see that with 17 total points, this brings up a couple decimals. Make sure that the old total amount of points divides evenly into the new total. If you choose a holistic rubric, you will simply enter a percentage for each grading level in these boxes. In these boxes underneath the grading level, add a description to set expectations for each criterion's grade level. You have additional options if you expand this options menu by clicking this arrow. For rubric visibility, you can choose whether or not users of your course can see the rubric for now, or you can leave it hidden, until feedback is published. For score visibility, you can choose to hide scores from students. If you check this box, in the text box under description, you can add a description for your personal reference that will not be shared with students. This would be great so that you know what each rubric is for, but it is optional. Rubrics automatically save, so you don't have to do anything to save. So when you're done, you can just click Close. Next, let's take a look at how you attach a rubric to an assignment. Now, we didn't look at assignments yet. We will look at assignments more in depth later in this training. For now, we're going to start with adding a rubric to an already made assignment. So I'm going to click on Course Admin in the nav bar. Under Assessment, I'm going to click on Assignments. I have one made already. Again, I'll show how to make another later in this training, but I'm going to click the down arrow next to it and click Edit Assignment. So to add a rubric to an assignment, you're going to expand the evaluation and feedback box by clicking this arrow, and you're going to click on Add Rubric. If you already have one made, you're going to choose Add Existing. If you have not made one yet, you'll create New. I'm going to click Add Existing, and then you will check the rubric you would like to attach. I'm going to attach the new one we just made and click Add Selected. The rubric is now attached. I can click Save and Close. So the rubric is attached, but how do we grade with the rubric? Well, we'll click Grades in the nav bar. We'll make sure we are on the Enter Grades tab, and you'll want to click on the drop-down arrow next to the grade item that has the rubric attached, and you'll click Enter Grades. To the far right, you'll see a column titled Assessment. If the user has not uploaded a document for this assignment, you will see an icon of a rubric and a ruler. If the user has uploaded a document for this assignment, you will see this document icon. If there is an orange dot, it means that you have not yet opened the student's submission. Clicking on the rubric and ruler icon will automatically open the rubric. You can fill out the rubric by clicking on the preferred grade level. Click on the Publish button to immediately release the score to the student, or you can click Save and save it for now. The student won't be able to see their score yet until you publish it. Click on the document icon to open the student's submission for the assignment. Expand the rubric and drag the slider to the grade level you prefer to give the student. It'll grade it automatically, and then you can click Update or Publish, whatever button is at the bottom. If you're doing this for the first time, it should say Publish. Since I had already graded this and I'm regrading it, I'm just going to click Update. The next assessment tool we're going to look at is a discussion. Click on Discussions in the navbar. Click on the blue New drop-down menu, and you can see you choose between a new forum or a new topic. Let's talk about discussion terminology first. Forums are used to house discussion topics that are similar to one another. Topics are where the discussions actually take place. This is where users can post threads in response to a discussion prompt. Threads are the initial posts added to a discussion topic, and replies are responses posted to a specific discussion thread. So we want to start with a forum. You want to give your forum a title. Try to include a title that gives the users an insight into what they will be discussing. For example, Module 1 Theme lets the users know that in this forum, we're going to be talking about a Module 1 topic of theme. Now, after I make this forum, I can come up with a couple different topics that'll all be housed in here. But for now, users know what module we're in, and they know broad topic that we will be talking about. You can add a description for the forum in this description text box. This is optional. And below that box, there are a couple other optional settings. Checking this box will allow users to post anonymously. Checking this box will make sure that posts can only go up after they've been approved by a moderator. This box makes it so that users must start a thread before they can read and reply to other threads in each topic. This way, users will need to post original thoughts. They cannot read everyone's comments and then make the same point. This last option will display forum descriptions in topics. I don't have a description, so this doesn't mean much to me right now. Click Save and Add Topic. Provide a title for the topic that you want users to discuss. In the description box, type out the instructions for the users. They need to know what exactly they're going to be discussing with each other. And below the description box, again, are some of the same settings that we had for the forum. And below that, underneath these options is something that says Rate Posts. So if you open this drop-down menu, you can make it so that users rate each other's replies. Click Save. Click on the Assessment tab. If you already have a grade item, hit the drop-down arrow and choose it. I don't have one made for this, so I'm going to click New Grade Item, and I'm going to make one in the same window very quickly. In the box under Score Out Of, type in how many points this discussion will be worth. If you want to add a rubric, you can click this Add Rubric button and choose from the list of your already made rubrics, or create a new rubric in a new window. If you prefer to grade users' individual posts, check the box next to Allow Assessment of Individual Posts. If this box is left unchecked, you will give a single overall score for each user's participation. If you prefer to check the box, choose how many points will be scored by clicking on the drop-down menu under Calculation and choosing your preferred calculation. Click Save. Next, click on the Restrictions tab. Check the box next to Has a Start Date if you'd like to add one, as well as End Date and Displaying Calendar. Click Save and Close. Let's go back and take a closer look at assignments. So again, Course Admin, Assignments. To make a new assignment, click on this blue New Assignment button. Give the assignment a name. Click the text box under Score Out Of that reads Ungraded. Input the number of points the assignment will be worth. Click on the In Grades drop-down list. Click Choose from Grades. If you did not yet create a grade item for this assignment, select the button next to Create and Link a New Grade Item. If you have already created a grade item for this assignment, select Link to an Existing Grade Item. A drop-down menu will appear for you to choose which grade item will be linked to the assignment. I'm going to create a new one, so I will select the top option and click OK. Add a due date by clicking on this text box underneath due date, and from the calendar, choosing a day. You can then choose your time. In this text box under instructions, type out the instructions for this assignment. You can also attach files, existing activities, web links, Google Drive files, or OneDrive files. You can also record audio instructions by clicking Record Audio. Click on the arrow next to Availability Dates and Conditions to expand details. This is where you can add a start and an end date. You can also add release conditions by clicking Add Release Conditions. You can choose whether to create new release conditions or add existing. Release conditions make it so users cannot view or access the assignment until specific conditions are met. So for example, if I click Create New, I can choose a condition type. So this will make it so that students cannot see this assignment until they completed a checklist found in Module 1. Now, this is just an example. I'm going to cancel out of this, and release conditions will be something that we'll look at in more depth in the following trainings. But for now, I'm going to click Cancel. Add special access to users by clicking on the blue Manage Special Access link. Like last time, decide whether special user access means they're the only ones that can see this, or if they get to see it at times when others cannot. And like last time, click on the gray Add Users to Special Access button to create the special access and add users. Scroll down and click on the arrow to expand Submission and Completion. Click the arrow under Submission Type to choose the type of submission for this assignment. The standard is going to be file submission, but you can have text submission, on-paper submission, or note that it was observed in person. Select how many files will be allowed per user submission, whether it's unlimited or just one file. If you chose unlimited, under submissions, you're going to decide which submissions will be kept, whether it will be all of them, only one, or only the most recent. In this text box under notification email, you can type in your email address if you want to be notified each time there is a new submission. This is optional. And evaluation and feedback is where we added our rubric last time. Under annotation tools, check the box next to make annotation tools available for assessment if you want to annotate users' submissions. Click Save and Close. Let's take a look at how to annotate an assignment after a user uploads a file. I'm going to click on this down arrow next to an assignment, and I'm going to click View Submissions. I will click on a file to open a user's submission. In this toolbar above the submission, click on this pencil icon to open up the annotation tools. Click on the highlighter icon to open up different drawing and highlighting options. Choose a specific annotation tool by clicking on it from this list. Click on the sticky note icon to post sticky notes into the file submission. Click on the paint bucket to change the color of the sticky note. When you have the sticky note ready, simply click anywhere on the assignment to add a note. Type out your message to the user, and when the user goes back in, they can hover over the note and read your message. Click on the text box icon to change the font type, color, size, and opacity for your feedback. Click on this arrow next to the line icon to choose different drawing tools. You can grade a submission directly within the same window that you are annotating. If you have an attached rubric, you can open it by clicking this expand arrow and grade it using the rubric. If you do not have a rubric attached, you can still type in the overall grade in this text box. In this text box under overall feedback, you can type out any feedback you want to give a user about the submission. Click on this cloud icon to upload a file as part of your feedback, or click on record audio to record audio feedback. When you're finished, click on the blue button at the bottom. For me, it says update since I went into this user submission already. If this is the first time you're in the submission, it'll say publish. The last tool we're going to talk about today is checklist. To access checklists, open up your course admin tools, go back down to assessment, and click on checklists. Click on this blue new checklist button. Give the checklist a name. It is recommended that you name the checklist after the type of tasks that will be included in the list. So for example, I named this checklist Module 2 Assessments because it's mostly going to house just assessments that users will be graded on in Module 2. In this text box, under Description, type out a description of what tasks are included in the checklist if you choose. Under New Window, you can check this box next to Open this checklist in a new window when viewed if you would like this to open in a new window for users. When you're ready, click Save. Scroll down to where it says Categories and Items. Click on New Category. This will create a category of activity for the checklist. In this box, you can describe the category if you'd like. I'm going to skip this for now and click Save. Scroll back down to Categories and Items. This time, click on New Item. Now you can either choose an existing category to house this item or click Create a New Category to create a new one. In this box under Name, you want to give this item a name. In this box under Description, briefly describe what this assignment is and where it can be found in your D2L course. Check the box under Due Date to add a due date, and next to Displaying Calendar to display this date in the calendar. Click Save. Down here at the bottom is my checklist so far. I can continue adding new categories and new items until I'm ready to go. When you're done, click Save and Close. Here are my checklists for my course so far. And that is the end of Training 2, Assessment Tools and Gradebook. We went through a lot today, so if there's anything you need, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and I can help you. Thank you for joining me today. We have 2 trainings left in this series on Workforce Development D2L. I hope to see you at one of them, if not both. Thanks.